Hello, it's Aga from Arvis Artist. I have a quick question for you. Have you ever struggled with meet the deadline in your 3D artist career? If so, let me give you a few tips that will help you to avoid these situations. A lot of people, and this is not only related to 3D artists, hate deadlines. Deadlines are associated with lots of stress and restless atmosphere. But on the other hand, deadlines are really important in any job and task to keep the smooth flow of work. Let me give you 5 tips what to do to meet your deadline every time. First, we need to understand what our task is in order to identify the needs of a particular project. It's a quite common situation that not all information is provided at the beginning. Many artists don't receive a complete brief, and new guidelines and details are being sent during the creation process. It's normal when there are changes during the process. That's why we provide rounds of comments, right? However, if there are major modifications which are a result of unfinished project, most of the time it causes a really big issue. It's because such an error can affect the entire shot. So you should always inform your client to keep in mind that the artist who deals with such issues don't have time to actually create visualization itself. You may think that it's too formal, or maybe that it's not appropriate to talk about rules between you and your client, especially if this is the first time of your cooperation. But in my opinion, this is the most important thing that should be discussed at the early beginning. And I would say that this should be a clear message. The best in form of the contract. At this point, you should inform your clients what is the price of the package they chosen, how your workflow looks, how long the process takes, what do you need from them, how many rounds of comments are provided, and so on. This point is directly related to the previous point, and it should be discussed with the client. In order to create a timeline, we need to know how long the process takes us and how much time our client needs. There is the difference between a small project with one person involved and the big one with the whole team of people from different industries. Another question to ask: does your project involve any outsourcing? If so, how long it takes to another company to accomplish their tasks? To create timeline, you can use online source like, for example, Monday.com, or you can create it by yourself using, for example, Google Sheets. The choice is yours. When it's done correctly, it's clear that if somebody doesn't meet the deadline of particular tasks, the final deadline will move as well. Each project is different. Sometimes we have more time to create a project, and sometimes the deadline is really tight. Whatever the case is, always give yourself a time buffer. It can be a few hours, day, 2, depending on the project and your capabilities. Life doesn't always go according to the plan, so it's smart to think ahead about some potential problems. Good idea is to set your own deadline, a day or 2 before the final deadline. It's not always possible, but if it is, why don't do this? This way, if something goes wrong, you still have time to turn your work in on time without unnecessary stress. Adding this extra time is a great idea, not only only because you can have some complications, but also others can have some issues, which can delay the finishing project on time. So don't overestimate your abilities. And it's not that you are not able to do something. Just take into consideration that life is life and unpredictable things happen. A lot of times, this is one of these things that many artists don't treat seriously. It doesn't feel as important as other things during the process. But believe me, this can save you a lot of troubles. If you have your scene organized and optimized, you don't need to deal with issues during the production process. As a result, you don't waste your time on things like finding objects, fixing problems, and solving issues related to rendering or troubles with viewport preview, for example. Additionally, if you have your project folder set correctly, you can find all needed information really quickly. So all these things are really worth learning and should stay your habit. Believe me, it can help you a lot. If you want to know a bit more on how to speed up your workflow in 3ds Max, check out one of our previous videos. I put the link in the corner. I hope you find these tips useful, and after this point, you will never have problems with meet your project deadlines. Remember that a pragmatic mindset and right strategies can help you a lot with manage your deadlines and avoid unnecessary stress. That's it. Thanks for watching, and also don't forget to like this video if you found this interesting, share it, subscribe, and do all these wonderful things. See you guys in the next video.